Don't think mommy likes me very much.
Welcome to the Revelations Room. Today we're diving into some of the creepiest Reddit stories involving children. These aren't just bedtime tales, these are nightmare fuel. Grab a blanket, turn on the lights, and let's get into it. Let's talk about kids. They're cute, they're innocent, and sometimes they say the most terrifying things, like listen to these gems from Reddit. Do you like burning? A girl's new neighbor casually asked this while playing. If I was to murder you in your sleep, no one would know. I'm just a kid. That was a 9-year-old. Sweet dreams. I was on a mountain once. My mum and dad died. Then I woke up here. A 4-year-old casually shared this over breakfast and then asked to watch Paw Patrol. Honestly, some kids are either psychic, reincarnated, or just out here trying to give us heart attacks. One Reddit user shared how their son refused to go downstairs because Angel Man was there. But this wasn't a nice angel. Angel Man wanted to hurt the family. Then there's the kid who kept saying there were babies in the walls, casually like that. And let's not forget scary Uncle Michael, who a kid described as a grey man crawling on walls and trying to eat him at night. That's nightmare fuel if I've ever heard it. One story from Reddit really got under my skin. A dad was installing a smoke detector when his daughter asked what it was. He explained it would warn them in case of a fire. She smiled and said, "Oh good, so I won't burn up again." Then she just skipped away like it was nothing. What? Another Reddit user shared, "Dad was out of town. Mum still swears this was the scariest thing any of my siblings ever did. Just after my little brother was born, my mum 3 years old. My sister and I were talking about what not to do around the baby. Things like not leaving small toys out or throwing balls around the baby. After a few minutes, my sister chimed in and said, 'And you don't cut off a baby's lips with a sharp knife.' This story starts off ordinary enough. A family had a nanny named Christine, who was there every day to help with the kids. Everything seemed fine until a gold coin, a gift from the Spanish royal court, went missing. For days they tore the house apart looking for it, even thinking maybe the baby had somehow hidden it. Eventually they gave up. One day Christine borrowed the family car and didn't come back. Her adult son, who often visited, returned to the car, casually sitting with the kids, as everyone worried about where she could be. The truth, it was so much worse than anyone could imagine. Christine had gone home and found her son chiseling the gold coin into a belt buckle. They argued it got heated, and he murdered her, wrapped her in plastic, stuffed her into the trunk of the family car, and dumped her body in the countryside. The detectives eventually traced the bloodied trunk back to the family. But here's the creepiest part. That same son, after doing all of this, sat with the kids, acting like nothing happened. The gold coin was later recovered, and Christine's employer turned it into a necklace. It still has the chisel marks. Imagine looking at that every day, knowing what happened. Next we have Uncle Sam. No, not the patriotic guy. This one's a little too close to home. When the girl was 10, Uncle Sam started acting weird. He'd make uncomfortable compliments and wanted to spend time alone with her. One night her parents were out, and Uncle Sam called, breathing heavily and asking strange questions. He said he'd pick her up from school the next day for ice cream. Her teacher, Miss Susie, noticed something felt off and decided to wait with her when Uncle Sam arrived. He wasn't happy to see Miss Susie there. She ended up insisting on riding in the car with them and later warned the girl's parents. Here's where it gets dark. A few years later, she learned Uncle Sam was arrested for assaulting a 12-year-old girl. Miss Susie's quick thinking likely saved her from the same fate. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes, they're just teachers who trust their gut. This one sounds like it's straight out of a horror movie, but it's real, or at least as real as Reddit says. Picture this. It's 1979, and a teenage girl takes a babysitting gig at a big, isolated house in the woods. After putting the kids to bed, she settles in on the couch to watch TV. Then the phone rings. She picks up, only to hear heavy breathing. A man's voice finally breaks the silence and asks, "Have you checked on the children?" Thinking it's just a prank, she hangs up, but the calls keep coming. Each time the voice grows more insistent. "Why haven't you checked on the children?" Panicking, she calls the police. They tell her to keep the line open if he calls again, and of course, the phone rings. This time, the voice screams, "Check on the children now." The babysitter is frozen with fear. Suddenly the phone rings again, but it's the police this time. They frantically yell, "Get out of the house! The calls are coming from upstairs." So what do you think? Are these stories proof that kids know more than we give them credit for? Or are they just messing with us? Either way, we recommend listening a little closer when kids say something creepy. Let us know in the comments which story creeped you out the most. And if you're brave enough, share your own childhood scares. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more terrifying tales. Until next time, stay safe and maybe keep the lights on.